I want to know how sea salt ice cream became a thing in Kingdom Hearts. Like, why sea salt ice cream?
How about that Pete, though? Captain Justice My Hide. You can't count on him for anything.
Do you want to know? If you know the reason why that flavor of all things, please let me know.
Sure, sugar isn't justice. Pete never does anything for anybody except Pete. That get-up was just an
Nomura
act to
tried
get
it and
folks to
liked
vote
it.
for him. He wants to win the Million Dreams Award and hog the prize.
Million Dreams Award?
Wait, that's the whole reason.
It's part of our Dream Festival.
So you know how in like a English class, right? You'll be reading a book, and they'll be like, "Hey, why are the curtains red? What does the blue carpet symbolize?" If you did a book review on Kingdom Hearts, you would have someone asking you, what is the significance of sea salt ice cream? And if you wrote the actual answer, you would get a failing grade.
For who we think the most admirable citizen is. But Pete seems to have the wrong idea. He thinks that dressing up as a hero and proclaiming that he is one will win him votes. What really makes someone a hero isn't what they wear or what they say. It's
the symbolism is you like to eat ice cream with your friends. That's probably the extent of it. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let's see if some Redditor's written some like long essay about it. I wonder if someone's done a video essay. Symbolism of sea salt ice cream in Kingdom Hearts. Wait, I joked about... that was a joke. That was a joke. Hold up. Wait a second. I didn't think it would actually be a video that exists. Oh no, it's Key. Is this a parody channel? If it's a parody channel, that makes it even better. No, it's not a Okay, we might have to watch that one as well. Now that we're done with that Kingdom Hearts video, let's watch this one from Key. Sea salt ice cream is a metaphor. A Kingdom Hearts video essay. Let's see what nonsense this is going to be. I have no idea what this channel is about. What other videos do they have? Is it all like video essay stuff? We made sea salt ice cream. Maxing out points, reality in the darkness. Okay, so it feels like there might be some reaches here. Uzumaki. The new Junji Ito anime. Let's have a look. Let's just see.
Sea salt ice cream. It's
True.
one of the two staple foods in the Kingdom Hearts series, but at its core, is it really just a bar of sweet and salty goodness on a stick? Or does it have some kind of deeper meaning? I'm inclined to believe so, and I think everyone else who's been paying attention does too, but for the people outside
I've certainly asked the question, that's for
the
sure.
hardcore fan base looking in, you're probably asking yourself, what's the deal with all that ice cream? There is, after all, a whole game where like 75% of the cutscenes are of the main characters eating it.
You're not wrong, actually. How many bars of sea salt ice cream are eaten in days? Like, it's gotta be at least 30, surely. I would be surprised if it's less than 30.
I guess we should start with the reason such a particular flavor of ice cream was selected. Tetsuya Nomura, the series director, was visiting Disneyland one day.
Okay, we are establishing the thing that is actually real. Okay, good.
and just so happened to try the sea salt flavor of ice cream that was being served there. He liked it so much that he decided to include it in the game series going forward and made it a staple starting with Kingdom Hearts 2. The main character associated with the snack is Roxas, someone whom many of us didn't know much about prior to the time of Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's mostly because many of us neglected to finish Chain of Memories on the Game Boy before its release, myself included.
I didn't know the game existed. I had no idea that Chain of Memories was a thing at all. I didn't know about Chain of Memories until I knew about, like, Chain of Memories years later. X equals 358 times by 3 minus number of days Shion was missing.
From what we can gather during the 7 days we play as him in the prologue segment, Roxas is a boy who loves sleeping in, throwing sticks at strangers.
He does love sticks.
And hanging out with other kids in this random alley they call the usual spot. These friends of his are Hainer the leader, Pence the comedic.
Wait, I want to see what was that text there? Hold up.
Hainer the leader.
Hainer, leader, courageous, ready to dropkick anyone who stands in his or his friend's way.
Pence, the comedic relief and conspiracy theorist.
Comedic relief conspiracy theorist, one of the few people capable of hacking into Ansem the Wise's PC.
And Alette, the female. No, really. Now I'm kind of questioning, has Alette even done anything?
The sense one of the group. Yeah, here's the problem. I don't know why Nomura is, like, so set on never using most of the female characters. Like, Aqua is the only female character that actually gets some proper attention. Namine, like, she does things in the background, yeah, sure. Looks like Sora. She does have kind of spiky hair, doesn't she? Like, Namine does things in the background, she's obviously a key part of KH2, but, like, doesn't really get that much focus. Kairi got some stuff, especially in the DLC. Aqua, you got to play as Aqua. You got the whole Aqua game, 2.8. And there was, like, obviously the Norded Aqua and stuff. But, like, I really wish Kairi got a lot more attention. Oh, it was in the 2.8 collection. It was 0.2. Yes, you are correct there.
Anyway, these kids are so relatable. They put off their homework until the last minute.
They fight bees with
around
sticks.
Their neighborhood for spare change, but by far their favorite activity of all, as a collective group, is sitting atop the station clock tower, eating the savory-looking treat known as sea salt ice cream.
Well, considering this is the data world and it's built as a world specifically for Roxas, and this is set after 358. We've already established by this point that Roxas likes sea salt ice cream, and he always sat on the clock tower with his friends eating sea salt ice cream. So it makes sense with the context of Days why sea salt ice cream is what they eat in their friend group. Because this is not the real friend group that Roxas actually has.
They end up almost every day eating it and talking about their feelings, their hopes, and plans for the future, all while consuming this delectable treat. This would become the blueprint for a lot of what we're going to be discussing going forward, so be sure to keep it in mind. Moving right along, we know that weird stuff starts happening, especially on the 3rd or 4th day when Roxas is confronted by a mysterious man in a black coat claiming to know him. We don't know much about this Axel person, besides what we saw of him in Chain of Memories, and we don't know how he's connected to Roxas.
It doesn't look very delectable to me. It's kind of, I would imagine it's kind of like you can get, like, salted chocolate. I imagine it's kind of like the same vibe as that.
But then another mysterious figure shows up named Diz, and he's saying that this other guy is just talking nonsense. But Roxas and us, the player, don't know who this guy really is either, and we don't know who to trust. But before we can decide, the glitch in the Matrix suddenly ends, and we wouldn't see Axel again for a little while longer. In every instance that we got to see him and Roxas interact for the rest of the game, there's this sense of bitterness and animosity, but also longing that we, the player, don't really get. Roxas doesn't either. Take, for instance, this moment where Roxas pretends to remember his past. You can see the hope in Axel's eyes.
Honestly, Days coming out after KH2 is such a good release order. Because if Days had come out before 2, you would be in a position where you know everything about Roxas, you know his past, you know who Axel is. But because you never got a chance to play Days, you're in the same position as Roxas, where you're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. Who the hell are you, Axel? We're not friends. I've never met you before. Days fleshes out Roxas' backstory after KHQ's establishment. Exactly. Yes.
Flare up for just a moment, only to simmer down once he realizes that Roxas really doesn't remember. And one last interaction before we move on to the next game I wanted to bring up was that when Axel saves Sora from the nobody swarm in the dark corridors, his dying words say that Roxas made him feel like he had a heart, putting the nail in the coffin that these two were very close one way or another. We know these two have a history now, but what that might entail would remain mostly a mystery until 2009 when we finally received Kingdom Hearts 358/2. Marketed as a game that would focus on telling the story of Roxas and his days in the organization, this game was highly anticipated by many in the fandom.
Very hype game.
Answers to our Axel and Roxas questions that we had been asking for the past 3 years. In the beginning, Roxas is...
I was playing Days for first for a similar reason. I was just confused with Roxas. Who is this boy in red? Why does he have these memories? Who the hell is Sora?
Known to make quick friends with Axel after they complete the tutorial mission, appropriately named the icing on the cake. To end off the mission, the two sit atop the very same tower we saw Roxas have ice cream with the Hainer Pence No Let crew, and Axel introduces him to his favorite treat, sea salt ice cream, which he offers to Roxas as a sort of reward for a job well done. Kind of like a senior would do to initiate a new recruit. And later on...
No, not kind of like that. Literally exactly like that. That is what is happening here. There's no kind of in that case.
On the line, Roxas would make another friend in the form of Xion. He would then perform this very same act of kindness with her after a successful mission together where they went to the same exact spot on the very same tower. And better yet, she has the exact same reaction that Roxas does to having it for the first time. Eventually, this...
Well, that also makes sense once you find out who Xion actually is as well.
This would become an after-work ritual for all three of them, and it would literally happen after almost every mission. Some people may find this monotonous and weird, but for some reason, I just never really felt that way.
Do you know why it's great? It's because they're actually friends, right? Like, as you go through Days, you're like, wait... These people don't know each other at the start. Like, they build up a relationship. They talk more. Axel really cares. Like, if they hadn't had these scenes, when Roxas left the organization and Axel tried to chase after him, that wouldn't have had anywhere near as much of an impact. These scenes were so important in building the fact that these people are actually friends. KH1 did a good job at doing it in just Destiny Islands, and... fantastic job. I honestly, whoever was responsible for writing that part of the story, incredible job. Whoever was the voice acting director of KH1, especially in the Destiny Island section, fantastic job. Because in BBS, they don't feel like friends. At least in English. The Japanese version, a lot more close to being friends. But having this different vibe where they're going from not being friends at the start to then building up a relationship, Days did such a fantastic job at that. And it makes you, like... Man, I do love Days. I really wish it got a proper re-release. BBS needed a longer prologue. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, Destiny Islands, the fact that you could just go around, you could fight Riku a bit, like, all of this stuff. BBS is a very short game. I think BBS really suffers from being a super short game.
It took me a long time to put this into words, but now I'm ready to break it down for all of you. This is where the video really begins. There's a few very common reasons one might eat some ice cream. You'd probably best enjoy it when you're with some friends.
Time to get to the yapping segment.
Or family on a hot summer afternoon. This is of course not the only time you'd have ice cream. Hell, I'll have it whenever I want, no matter what the temperature. But there's an honest difference between me having it now than having it back then. As an adult, I can have whatever ice cream I want whenever I want because I make adult money and literally nobody can stop me. It's still delicious, but it's not quite the same as it was when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, my parents would buy...
Axel is literally 23. Actually, I don't know how old he is, but Axel's clearly an adult.
buy these big bags of ice pops that were pretty cheap. They weren't very, you know, gourmet or anything, and they came in this very plain plastic tubing.
Let me explain to you what we buy in Australia. Australia Zupa Duper. This is what every kid in Australia has had many times. Zupa Dupers. They're plastic tubes with flavored water in them. These are incredible. Yeah, every country has a similar thing, but this is like our main brand version. Yeah, no, like getting these, your parents would buy a bag of these, put them in the freezer, and you in summer just pull one of those out, and man, they're great. We have those too, call them freeze pops or otter pops. Yeah, as I said, every country has a version of them. It's such a simple way to do like an ice block. A ice cream, whatever you call them. It's plastic tube with flavored water. It's the simplest thing you can do, really.
Flavor would always be sweet and it tasted fine, but it was definitely not the premium stuff. However, that doesn't really matter. When it's hot outside and you are tired from running around all day, you really don't care. You just want something to cool off and our premium stuff.
Oh no, he does. I thought maybe Lee's eye color had changed
between being
really
person and not. When it's hot outside and you are tired from running around all day, you really don't care. You just want something to cool off and relax with your friends with. And honestly,
I said this when I was doing Ventus's playthrough. Ventus, Lee, and Isa feel like a better friend group than Ventus, Aqua, and Terra. In the very short scene they had establishing their friend group, so much better than the BBS trio.
That's what made those ice pops taste so elite. They were a nice way of capping off a day of playing and were a staple of my summer days and nights. Because just like in the game, ice cream can be a good remedy to make someone's day go from bad to at least a little better. In most instances, Roxas will always be eating the chilling confection with either Axel, Xion, or both. And other times still, he's just eating it by himself. No matter what day it is, no matter what happens with or without his friends, he always finds himself in this same spot with a bar of it in his hand. But why is that? Well, it's because to Roxas, the ice cream is all he has to associate these feelings that he doesn't really understand. That feeling being happiness and closeness with other human beings. Nobody's. Which is again why this line in particular is not the least bit corny when you realize what he's trying to convey. As one of his closest friends lay dying in his arms.
Yeah, if you that scene without context, haha, funny. Who will I eat ice cream with now? But like, this was Roxas discovering what feelings are. This is Roxas getting friends. When you put it in the context of Roxas losing one of his only two friends, like, it's a way more touching than just seeing it by itself.
Physically put into words what Xion means to him. He cannot say how she makes him feel. So
especially around the context of how that scene happens.
Simply says that if she goes, who else will have ice cream with him? After all, his only other friendship is in pieces, so all Roxas can do is try his best to fulfill his friend's dying wish. Have you ever cried so hard to the point where you got that bitter taste in your mouth? I definitely have. We all have at moments that just make us sad, but I'm sure we can also remember some moments that made us stop and think to ourselves that
I need to play 3, I really do.
Life is just so sweet. Can you tell where I'm going with this? If not, let me just spell it out for you. Sea salt ice cream is salty, but sweet too.
I already told you before. Get it memorized.
Just like how life can be salty and bitter, it can also be full of sweet moments.
Shut the fuck up! This is the line we're going with! Oh.
But sweet, spell it out for you. Sea salt ice cream is salty, but sweet too.
I already told you before. Get it memorized.
Just like how life can be salty and bitter, it can also be full of sweet moments too. To you, dear viewer, I'm not sure what it is you're going through right now, but if you'll let me, I'd like to give you this bar of ice cream.
Why is Lee's hair so red in this scene? Lee, is it just the weird lighting? Why the fuck has he got, like, tsundere red hair?
And a little bit of advice. Life is worth living for those sweet moments. So no matter how many bad ones stand between you and those moments, I hope you keep on going back for another bite. I hope this video wasn't too cheesy.
What the fuck? What did you... What? The reason it's sea salt is because life is salty and sweet. That's the logic we have here.
Definitely is hard to do heartfelt videos in today's society without being made fun of. But I really do mean every word.
Okay.
And I just want to say thank you for watching. Please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and maybe sharing it with a friend.
Well, actually, that's a really cute outfit that Shion has. What the fuck?
Warm sunset and some company right now. I've been Key, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Who is Casey? Is this a friend you had? That was a video, I guess. He didn't say anything, but I just that, you know what? That was certainly a video essay that I've seen. It wasn't a shitpost like I expected. It wasn't. But also, the entire thing he said in the video was said right here. Like, man, I love Kingdom Hearts. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, it's cringe. Yes, it's all of this stuff above. But man, I fucking love Kingdom Hearts. It's such a good franchise. There's a lot of people who don't want to play it because they see how dumb the story is. And yes, it is cringe anime BS. Yes. But it's so good. It is so good. I need to get around to playing 0.2 and 0.2 and 3.